business district licenses to occupy, which is al fresco, or want of a better word, outside dining.
Just note my conflict.
Noted. Councillor Johnson has noted his conflict and will be withdrawing from the agenda item. We're going to toilet. Okay, agenda is the annual licenses to occupy the footpaths and what have you. Schedule of the licence holders are on page 8 bar 2, and I see Mr. Ridley, our very capable senior manager, is up here to either talk or take questions on the issue.
I can see over the top.
I can see you. I can see you.
This is quite a rigmarole doing this annually, so the aim of this paper is to try and get a 3-year agreement and also give some certainty to the businesses in town. As you'll see on the map, these are the currently designated sites, and if additional applications are made to ourselves, then this is brought to council. As far as I'm aware, this item has not been to council for a long time, so we need to tidy this up. There is currently an income charge. There's a fee charge for the use of the footpaths, which varies and is based on a commercial valuation. Those fees have not increased for at least 2 years by any significant amount, i.e. that we've not had them revalued. We've just kept them stable because there was a view that it's difficult times for people, and we just need to make sure that this wasn't having a commercial impact, although there's still a payment made. So 2 parts to this, I guess, is one, the recommendation that there's a move to a 3-year cycle in terms of the licenses, and the other one is, which doesn't fit in the resolution, but I'd like to add, is whether or not there's a movement towards a revaluation every 3 years based on a commercial basis. So that doesn't form part of the current resolution, but I'd like to just add that, please, if we could. So I'm open to any questions.
Councillor Kirk.
Sorry, Mr. Chair. Just out of interest, sort of what would someone like Milano's pay?
I think the fair question is how much a square metre are we charging for the use of our footpaths for al fresco dining?
12 square metres is $1 under 600 a year. For 12 square metres, it's $598 per year.
It's been answered. It sounds like it's $200 a square metre.
It's in the fees and charges.
I see, right.
I would suggest it's around.
Well, it's in
Councillor Heckling.
Sorry, it's in the fees. It's in the
minutes.
fees and charges list, and I think it's $598 for 12 square metres.
That's right.
And then it's $11 something per extra square metre.
Yeah.
Okay. Councillor Williams.
Are you requiring cafes and restaurants outside the town centre also to be licence holders if they're using the pavement?
Ideally, yes, so we get some consistency. Currently, there's the right to occupy a metre in front of each. Within any business in the town can occupy the first metre outside of their business for whatever purpose they so desire.
And so how much pedestrian thoroughfare are you allowing with the tables and chairs on the footpaths?
We'd like to offer 2 metres, but it varies depending on the width of the street. For instance, Hormatangi Street down the end towards Tongariro Street can get a little bit tight, and it isn't helped by some of the freestanding signage. So ideally we allow 2 metres and we encourage businesses to allow 2 metres for pedestrians to pass through.
So I have for any restaurants that are not licence holders using the street, what do you do about that?
Like I said, the first metre is allowable. Anything beyond that, we have a word to the business owner and say, if you wish to occupy further areas, you need to make an application to council to do that. A lot of towns do this, and a lot of towns are a lot stricter than we are, because it's about encouraging vibrancy within parameters. So I'd say we're as strong as we can be. With most of the businesses conform, and they're really good because they realise that it's a key part of their business. So
Bernard?
Noticed, Mr. Ed, there's a couple that aren't on here that have been traditionally a long time on the street, like Robert Harris, Sushi Bar, but I'm not sure, just by Coffee Plus. There used to be a different cafe in there. Are they on here because they're just been left off, or?
These licence holders, this is sort of snatch of time. It's probably missed on here because we're probably a different licence holder.
Yep.
But if you look on the map, they're the licence areas. So if we try to, I guess,
John, I think those ones are within that 1.5 metre of the building. So this is only for the extension over and above the 1. Is it 1.5, John? 1. So as of right, you get 1 metre from the building. Some of those will have those tables and chairs within those 1 metre areas, and there's only those outside of that.
Yep.
Okay, Councillor Craig.
Comment first of all. This is part of the character of our town, isn't it? To have all this. Does it apply to the mobile people that come out and put chairs, as well as the people that have got the permanent ones, like on tap? Is the same rule for both?
it's again, I'll come back to it's forget them if you forget the people who work within their meter. So anyone, for instance, I choose Coffee Plus, for instance, which I'm sure you quite there's an area opposite the shop where it's cobbled. So that area is a licensed occupier, but outside their property, that meter, they've got a right to use that without any charge, and that's just a rule of thumb that's been used.
Through the chair, the ones that are in Taupo Street that have got like on tap, they've got a permanent sort of smokers place. That applies to this.
That absolutely applies. Yeah.
It applies to them. Yeah.
So you'll see on the map on Taupo Street, they're all numbered and. And that licence that they're occupying and close off at night is the area they're allowed to occupy.
Okay, anything further? Councillor Kirk?
Sorry, what are the rulings around Suncourt?
It's privately owned.
Privately owned, so the walkway.
Privately owned, probably, except they've got to keep the walkway clear.
Great, thank you.
Okay, anything more of Mr. Ridd? There being nothing, it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, that question actually that you answered, asked Councillor Craig, if you look right down on Robert Street where they go on the opposite side of the road, they only put the chairs out in the morning, they take them in at night because they obviously don't want them stolen, but they pay the same amount of money per square meterage as someone in Taupo Street that may have put up something semi-permanent to stop people getting cold in the southerlies. So, it's the same deal, same square meterage. Okay, there's a suggested resolution, but this resolution doesn't read quite right with your opening statement, Mr. Ridd. Now, you were saying something about 3 yearly revisions, or...
Can I just take just some advice on the annual plan? You mentioned that the schedule of fees and charges was in the annual plan. If that's the case, then we just stick with the current resolution. I thought we'd left them out.
This resolution doesn't say when and if or ever it would be, revalued or whatever.
Sorry,
I'm only referring to your opening statement where you said we either leave it the same or we go to 3 yearly or something else you mentioned.
So 3 yearly, if we could add to the resolution that that's a 3 year period.
That's what I'm saying. I think the resolution needs to tidy up.
That's right.
If you want to encapsulate everything you've told us.
So it's to include a 3 yearly review.
Somebody want to add something into that resolution? I think the times we're at the moment, we're at the moment, but can you add in there?
I think after the word "be granted," so it would you would add for a 3 year period. So it would read that the licences to occupy, as per the schedule attached to the officer's report of 28th of June 2011, be granted for a 3 year period. And that is
so insert in there after the word "granted" for a 3 year period. 1/7/11. Happy with that? Now, anybody that hasn't got a licence to occupy at the moment, and I know there's new restaurants in town starting up and all this sort of thing, they can come in and apply, and they're just treated on an equal basis to other people. 1 metre you're allowed for nothing, and then So is there a mover for that resolution with that addition to it?
Moved.
Is that a mover? Councillor Kirk, second, Councillor Williams, all in favour?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you very much. As I said at the beginning of the council meeting, I was going to move agenda item number 9 because Mr. Palmer had another appointment, but I see Mr. Palmer has now been released from that appointment, and he's in the back of the room there. Now, Mr. Ridd, agenda item number 9 is request for tree removal. Whilst I didn't intend to give Mr. Palmer any speaking rights, if we could just work our way through this, there may be some questions councillors may like to ask of him and may not. So proceed with number 9.